Let me talk to you about the Takoon Cloud, their V2 Parawing that actually I've been using for only one session now. There was not enough wind before, and to be honest, it was super cold. And it is quite interesting.
Welcome to Matt on Foil.
Alright, I heard from friends that their V1, the Zenit, was not the best. I've never tried it, so I don't know, I cannot judge. But I got their V2 to test. So one thing that stands out immediately is the price. These Parawings cost half the price of their competitors. You can get your 4 meter for under $400, which is, you know, the same as Gong's low kite, but as I said, half the price of other major brands. So that's super interesting. If you get that Parawing, it comes in this bag, and it is super cool to take with you because, you know, once you put it in wet, then the water drops out. But it's not a stash belt, so you cannot take that with you. The stash belt is extra, and we're going to talk about it in a second. So if you take it out of this pouch, you immediately see a lot of thought went through. What is super nice, and they probably listened to Gav, because the blue lines, the front lines, come to the front part of the Parawing, and the orange lines go to the back where the Parawing is orange. The middle part, the middle lines, B lines are white, as is the major part of that Parawing. Now I said the bar is super important, and it is important because this Parawing is different to steer from the others. And when I went out last week, I was actually a bit surprised because usually I hold my Parawings all to the front of the bar, and when I did it with that cloud, then it didn't react and it did what it wanted and not what I wanted. And first I thought, well, this Parawing is, but then I learned after a couple of minutes that actually I need to hold it a little further back so it is powered. And sometimes I even had to go back towards the middle line, so you cannot hold it all the way to the front and still steer it, but the D-power is very good. So if you hold it to the front, then the D-power is very well, as you can see here. I did just a downwinder with that Parawing. I didn't go upwind really, because it was super cold, and if you go upwind, the wind chill is so extreme that my fingers, they're just gonna freeze and fall off. So I did the downwinder, and you don't have the problem of logistics here in Switzerland. We just take the train to get back upwind. So I cannot say that much about the upwind angles yet. I did a little bit of upwind just to see how it would react, how it can depower it. I'm gonna talk about the upwind angles in another video, but just to be clear, how good a Parawing goes upwind is mainly how the rider can go upwind. Because I had some Parawings that I thought, well, I cannot go upwind super well with those. And then some friends of mine, yes, very good riders, they went upwind the way I went with other good upwind Parawings. But that's just a little side note. So when you want to do a downwinder, you always want to stash your Parawing. And for the first time, I used Takoon's stash belt, which is a different one. I usually use the one where I can just like stuff in everything and close it up. And this one is different because it's got this kind of tube here. And I talked to a friend who used the same kind of stash belt. And what you usually do is you collapse your wing. And I always put the bar under my arm. And then what I did with this Parawing is I put my arm, my left arm, through that pouch, took the Parawing, and then just pulled it in like this and pushed it so it was stuffed in. Now, you can also close these guys a little bit, but I usually didn't do it because once I stash it, it's big enough, it doesn't go anywhere. Now, what do you do with the bar? The bar you can hook in, and sometimes I had some problem finding these elastic guys here. You put that here, and especially the second one was for me hard to find, also because it was the first time I used it. Then you swing it around, and you have nothing in your hands, and you can just try to surf the waves. So this is actually super comfortable. It is different from the pouch that I usually use, so I had to learn how to stash it. If you have a smaller Parawing, then you just want to close these entry holes or exit holes a little bit more. I used the 3-meter power pack from Ozone as well. And honestly, that was kind of hard because I had to put my arm in to grab it, but I also need to close it because the Parawing was so small, sometimes it almost fell out. So these pouches are different. Yes, it works as well. And probably for longevity, they're better because my regular stash belt, the one that I use from Elements, you can see that the area here is quite worn out after a couple of sessions. What you also don't have a problem with, that sometimes I have here, if you have a Parawing with a really big bar, then it is hard to put it in here. But honestly, the Fly Surfer has one of the biggest bars and I can fit it here in my Elements pouch, so that's what I usually use. And here I can put in a 5-meter Parawing if it's a small one. But with the Takoon pouch, you never have a problem. You don't have two big bars. Also, if the Parawing is a little bit bigger, they fit in there because it doesn't matter if they fall out just a little bit. So I can honestly say that this Takoon Parawing, for me, works super well. I'm gonna give it some more shots in going upwind. The pouch as well, for me, takes some getting used to, but it works as well. And for the price, this is competitive, man. So if you're not sure whether you want to get into Parawinging or not, get one of these, because with that price, get it yourself for your birthday. Christmas is over, I know, but you can also use it on the skateboard. You can use it maybe on skis, or just have your kids use it as a kite, and that's super fun. Yeah, I got nothing bad to say. If you like this review, make sure to subscribe, because I also use Ozone's Power Pack, which is their new downwind specific Parawing. If you want to hear my opinion about it, make sure to subscribe to not miss the review of the Power Pack. And if you want reviews of other Parawings, make sure to go back in my videos. I reviewed so many Parawings. I think the Takoon was number 20. I had 20 different Parawings in my hands already. Honestly, the Takoon Parawing is a very good Parawing. The price, super competitive. Now, just because I like it doesn't mean that it is better. There are a lot of nuances, and honestly, you get used to every Parawing. I mean, I started with the 3-meter from Roger, and back then it was a good Parawing because it was the only Parawing I had access to. So if you want to get into Parawinging, just get the one that is available for you. And some of them come down in price very much. For example, this Paia, the double skin, I don't use it anymore. So if you want to buy it, get in contact with me. I'll make you a very good price. If you want to get into Parawinging, go ahead. It is amazing, but stay safe. If you want to know more about safety, check out this video I did on safety with the Parawing. Maybe check out this conversation I had with Christian from Surf Ears, because if you're out in the water, in cold water, your ear canal actually can close up. So check out this conversation. I think that might be interesting. And actually down here, I have a whole page of Parawing and gear review. So check out this playlist as well. And if not, see you guys in the next one.